Okay, Svarik, thank you for joining us today. Um, we just want you to tell us about your flying career in the Czech Air Force, what it's like flying the helicopters that you fly, and more importantly, where did it all start? From day one, if you can remember. So, in your own time, there's no rush. Just tell us what you can remember, and then when you're done, just let us know and we'll ask questions. Over to you.
Okay, hello and thank you for inviting me to this talk. I've been here for a while, and so I listened to the conversation, and I really like this format. Well, where to start? Well, my enthusiasm for flying, I think it starts in my childhood because my father. He always wanted to be a pilot, a military pilot, but he has a sad story with his mother, my grandma, because he had a brother and he tried to fly in his age of 15 and he didn't like it. So uh, my my grandma told to my father that his brother didn't like it, so he wouldn't do it. So, and he was really like flying enthusiast in the bottom of his heart. So I really grew up within aircraft models, all the history books and all the books about flying. So I pretty much grew up among any variation of flying and aviation and aircraft. So I decided uh, to be a military pilot. So and I really had like the greatest support from my father. So I started to fly in 1999. It was the third year in the military academy. That time the format was like that. So we spent 2.5 years with the theory and all the technical subjects and stuff like that. Then in 1999, I started to fly a small fixed wing aircraft. It's called Z-142. It is a small aeroclub aircraft that was used for the basic training within the Air Force. And after half of year flying, our instructors divided us into three groups. One was jet pilots, one was helicopter pilots, and one was transport pilots. So I ended up in the group of helicopter pilots, and since then, since 2000, I've been flying helicopters. So at school, our uh, training helicopter for the basic flying was Mi-2, small uh, helicopter from Soviet era. But interesting thing is that Mi-2 was constructed in Soviet Union, but they decided that all the small helicopters will be produced in Poland. I'm telling that because my whole career is mostly on the Polish helicopter. So I started to fly Mi-2, and after the flight school, when we graduated, my first unit was in Moravia. There was a helicopter airbase with Mi-17s and Mi-24s. So after the school, I ended up in Přerov Air Base and started to fly Mi-17. But there I was real lucky because in that time we had a special search and rescue squadron in western part of our country. And the commanding officer came there in the summer of 2001, and he said that he needs two young pilots to his squadron. And I was not from Moravia, from the part where the Přerov Air Base was. I was from the northern east part of the Czech Republic where I was born. And that time, I had a girlfriend from the western part of the country where the search and rescue squadron was stationed. So for me, I then didn't have any reason to stay in Moravia. So I said, okay. And another reason was that for me, it was like, like a dream to fly search and rescue or the rescue missions. Because I was, when I finished the flight school, I was like, okay, I would have to spend a lot of time in some other unit flying helicopters, and maybe if I have enough experience, I can get to the search and rescue squadron, because I knew that in that time there were only experienced old pilots, and that was big advantage for me to get there because okay, I said, okay, I want to go to search and rescue squadron to western part of our country to it was stationed in Líně airport. It's near the city of Pilsen, if you know a little bit of our Czech geography. And in my age of 23, I get to this squadron, and you can imagine that this was squadron full of old pilots that has their own children in the similar age like I was. So for me, this is like the best time of my flying career within the Czech Air Force, because I literally get to the group of pilots that they were like fathers for me. So I I gain a lot of experience like very quickly, because those were really old experienced pilots and they taught me everything. So since that time I started to fly W-3A Sokol, that was used for search and rescue and an air ambulance role. So since 2001, I have been pretty much rescue pilot. So the squadron was disestablished in 2008. So in 2008, our Air Force decided to basically merge two helicopter squadrons together. So they disestablished Search and Rescue Squadron in Líně, and in Prague Gbely there was a squadron more concentrated on VIP transport and any other transport tasks. So basically, you merge two squadrons, and they created really, how to say, real multi-role squadron. So since 2008, I have been in that squadron just only with 4 years. Yeah, 4 years. In 2015, I uh, I started to work on at the general staff to do some basically flying desk for 4 years, and then I returned back to the airbase, and I started to work as a major from 2019. I started to work as a tactical training chief of tactical training department at the air wing at that airbase, and then in 2022 I assumed command of 243rd Helicopter Squadron. So since that I have been a squadron commander. As for my display pilot career, it's also kind of interesting because I became a display pilot. Oh, let's say the beginning was that when I get to the search and rescue squadron, I flew as a co-pilot with the former display pilots on W-3A Sokol. So basically, I flew as a co-pilot. I flew with all of my predecessors, like the guys that flew the actual display before me. So the old squadron commander and his deputy, they were the first W-3A Sokol pilots, and I flew with them as a co-pilot. And all this experience, it helped me when I was chosen to be a display pilot. So in 2010, we've been already merged with the Prague 243rd Squadron, and I was a flight commander there, and I was chosen as the next display pilot. So for me, it was very beneficial that I knew all the routines of the pilots who flew it before me. So since 2010 to 2013. I was flying the as a display pilot. Then in 2014, I was deployed to Afghanistan, to Kabul. Okay. First, I I was flying Sokol. I had been flying Sokol since 2001. But in 2012 to 2013, our flight instructors within the squadron started to be deployed in Afghanistan in a role of air advisory team. It was AAT, air advisory team for the Afghan pilots. And in that time, squadron commander decided that for him, it's easier to um, requalify me on Mi-17 because I had been flying as a instructor pilots on Sokol, so it was easier to qualify me on Mi-17. Even the Mi-17 was the helicopter that I started to fly after the flight school, before I transitioned to W-3A Sokol. So I requalified to Mi-17, and in 2014 I was deployed there to Kabul. I trained Afghan pilots and do the test flights there for their aircraft. And then when I returned, there was a system that I was a flight commander, and I really wanted to become a squadron commander. But in that time, there was a rule that if you want to go level up, you have to have experience from the higher level. So uh, I just didn't have any other possibility to go to the general staff and fly desk for a while. But then I returned after 4 years. And what I forgot to tell you, in 2013, the display team on W-3A Sokol was canceled for various reasons, because we were short of flight hours, we were short of airframes. It nearly looked like W-3A Sokol would end because we had like 3 or 4 flyable airframes out of 10. Then in 2015, when I came to the general staff, I was part of the team that literally rescued W-3A Sokol because we forced for the overhauls and forced for additional money to put on the program because we didn't have any other helicopter um, to exchange for Sokols in that time. So the minister decided to put some money for overhauls, and then Sokol was again, you know, ministry put money on the program, and then we sent some grounded aircraft, airframes to Poland to be overhauled. And since I think it was 2016 or 17, we again gained uh, the whole fleet of 10 Sokols. So when I returned back to the squad to the airbase in 2019, or I returned in 2018. Sorry, in 2018, um, the wing commander that was there, he was my friend since the flight school. And he said, okay, you were the last display pilot on the Sokol, and I would like to uh, renew the display team, and I would like you to start a new display team because you know the routine, and you are the last active display pilot. So I returned back to base, and my first task was to renew the display. So in seasons 2018 and 19, I renewed the display, and then 2 years later, I trained another two display pilots on the Sokol. So since the season 2021, because 2020 season was canceled due to COVID. So since 2021, we were flying two display pilots, and then in 2022, I trained the third one. So since 2022, we have been flying three. And then in 2024, there was another season that I was missing because I was sadly, I was diagnosed with a cancer. So in 2024, I fought literally for my life. So I had to destroy the beast inside my body, and it worked out in autumn of 2024. I was fully recovered, or I fully recovered, and then in the beginning of this year, in January, I regained back my qualifications. And this season was my last season as a display pilot. So altogether, if I count it properly, with seasons 2010 to 2013, altogether I flew 10 seasons as a display pilot. So that's pretty much it. Or if you are interested, till now, I have logged almost 4,000 flight hours, and almost 3,500 I have on the W-3A Sokol. So I can tell you that as for my professional life, the W-3A is like the love of my professional life.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you for telling us about your career. And also, you know, it's just amazing, obviously, fighting the big beast that you fought. So, I just want to say, we're with you on that. It's nice that you've sort of overcome that. Um, so obviously, going in terms of the display, obviously the one that you displayed this year at RIAT, that was the last final display, wasn't it?
Yes. Unfortunately, it was my last display season, and unfortunately also for the Sokol because our Air Force and the ministry they just decided to get rid of this type in 2028. So we already have like three airframes grounded because they used the whole technical life, and our officials decided not to overhaul them. So since the next year, it looks like we will have only six airframes, and not all of them flyable like the whole year. So we will not have enough flight hours to fly displays the next year. So that was also the reason why we flew the synchro demo, because it was like in my mind and mind of my colleague, the fellow display pilot. We flew this kind of synchro for one of our colleague like 3 or 4 years ago. And it was just the idea that he had the final flight that he flew with me, and we came with the idea. So okay, let's let him fly his last flight, and I was like, okay, I will land with him. He would get off my aircraft. I will fly away, and then you come and you put the rescuers to him and fly with him on the rope, and then I suddenly will appear behind you, and we will fly in formation, and it would be fun. And then the our air wing commander saw it, and he was like, okay, it was really nice, so why don't you try to fly in two ship? So then we think a little bit about it, and I just reconstruct the routine to be flown behind the display line. So I adjust it for the uh, for the for the flying at the air shows. But the airbase commanders and Air Force commanders were not very keen to let us fly in two ship formation. Then, I was diagnosed with cancer last year, so the idea slept a little bit, And then when I recovered, me and Tony, my fellow display pilot, who we are alternating each other when we fly the solo display, and we trained a little bit years before. So in 2022 and 23, when we had enough time for training, so we tried to adjust this two ship flying, and we tried some maneuvers, and then said, okay, this would not work, this would work. So we have to adjust this and fly it like that, and stuff like that. But then, I was ill. So when I returned back, we said, okay, this would be the last year, because the decision about about ending Sokols within the Air Force was made in 2023 or 2024. So when I recovered, I said, okay, 2025 is the only year that we still have enough flight hours to train for it and to show it somewhere. So let me say England was really, really lucky because it was the only air show when we where we showed a synchro demo, and luckily enough, it was good enough for the committee to tell that we also won the trophy for that. So I was like, for me flying at RIAT and come back home with this trophy after the grueling year that I had. Uh, I mean, for me, it was like the dream came true.
Mm, good.
Yes. It was a well-deserved trophy as well because I watched the display, and obviously I was there on the arrivals day where I caught you came in formation together. That was nice that you had the red and white one and the camo one as well.
Hmm.
It was nice to do that. So and obviously what you've been through and doing this. So that sort of people will have some questions hopefully. Just put your hand up or if you've got a question, whatever. But before that. I'll start off with what would you say has been a career highlight of yours? Something that's really stood out.
What was highlight what?
So, what would you say is a career highlight? Something you've that has really been the best of your career?
This year RIAT would be like one of the biggest highlights of my career. I mean, if you fly at the air shows for so long, and I have been to RIAT before. I flew there solo display in 2022. And I mean, if you experience so many air shows as I experienced, and you can compare, I always tell to people if they ask me about the air shows. So I always tell them that if you are doing any sport and like the highlight of your career usually is the Olympics. You know, if you are I don't know athlete and doing any sport that is Olympic sport. So Olympics would be, and I always compare that for the display pilot. I mean, displaying at RIAT, it's like a Olympics for any display pilot. I'm pretty sure because I always tell to people here in the Czech Republic, just imagine that you have well over 100 aircraft over there on static and flying display. And there are really pilots from all over the world. And if you get trophy from that event, it means something for you if you fly as a display pilot. So for me, it really is one of the biggest highlights, and especially uh, when if I imagine when where I was the last year and compare it when where I get, let's say, if I recover from my illness, from my disease in October 2024. And imagine that after recovery, less than a year, I got to RIAT and we won the trophy. So for me, I wouldn't even imagine that in 2024 that something like that can happen. So so it is my like the biggest highlight. And like I said in the beginning, my whole career is are the rescue missions. So since 2002, I have been flying within the system of search and rescue and air ambulance. So for me, uh, other highlight of my career is the opportunity to fly those missions, because I always say the difference between the ordinary pilot and rescue pilot, if you fly real rescue missions, when you take off, there is always somebody who needs you to finish your mission. So as a rescue pilot, you have kind of a different mindset, because you have to prepare for the flight in very short period of the time. So, when you got to the alert shift in the morning, so you have to be prepared to be airborne in 4 minutes in daytime, and in 10 minutes during night from the signal. So you have to take off in this short period of time, and accidents usually don't happen in like the really nice weather conditions, stuff like that. So you usually fly into really bad weather, and you have to make decision under pressure, and you don't see on the scene. If you land on the scene where the accident happened, you usually don't see any nice things. You really see people suffering, and you still have to concentrate on the flight and to get those people and your whole crew uh, safely to the hospital and then safely home. So, I mean, for me, it's really satisfying to fly this kind of missions. So those are like the two biggest highlights to fly rescue missions and the trophy from RIAT for me personally.
Wonderful. Now, I've got a couple of questions from people, but also
Mm.
I've got a question to ask on behalf of someone. Wherever it is, I'll find it before I pass on to the others. So, two questions from Sarah.
Mhm.
Um, if you could fly anything, what would it be? That is number one. And is there anywhere you haven't flown but would like to?
Well, hmm, I don't know. I
Interested?
mean, um, if I have to make decision again, I would definitely pick helicopters. I mean, it's really difficult to tell now when I know what that flying is about. So um, if if I can choose anything, it would probably be again the helicopter. But I mean, I have been really satisfied with the type I have been flying like my whole career. W-3A Sokol, it's an amazing helicopter. And a couple of years ago, or it was around 2013 13, 12 or something like that. When it looked like that Sokol will end within the Czech Air Force, we were our Air Force command decided to travel around Europe, around different helicopter producers, and they picked a group of pilots to try to fly on anything else that could replace Sokol in that time. And I was lucky to be in Italy and try to fly on AW-139, Augusta Westland 139, and it's pretty much the same category as the W-3A Sokol that I've been flying. So when I tried that helicopter for like our flight or something like that, and I really liked that helicopter, how it's done, how it was really similar to the W-3A that I had been flying before that. So if I would choose, I would like to fly that helicopter because I mean I I have tried to fly several types, and I'm kind of a helicopter pilot who likes like a smaller, agile helicopters. So I have flown quite let's say around 300 flight hours on in Mi-17. And I mean, it's like a bus, it's very stable. It's really good for the transportation tasks. But for me, I like more of adrenaline, let's say, more of agile flying with the smaller helicopters. So let's say I would pick this Augusta Westland 139 if I can choose. So it would be like the next type I would like to fly. And what was the second question?
Let me find it again because obviously I've been. Is there anywhere you haven't flown but you would like to fly?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I have flown pretty much around whole Europe. I mean, I don't know if maybe some kind of exotic for the Europeans would be if I get to fly to a country like Australia or some country like with with jungles or something like that with in Asia. Maybe it would be interesting, dangerous, but would be interesting. Yeah, but yeah, around Europe, I think I've flown pretty much in almost every country around the Czech Republic. I mean, yeah. So if my answer is enough for the Sarah.
Yeah, yeah.
As it will be. We've got a lineup of people now to ask questions, so I'm going to do it in order who is first. So we'll start with Phil.
Hello there. Did you display at the NATO days this year?
Yes, I was
I
there.
was there. I was there, and
Yeah,
yeah, it was a brilliant air show. Absolutely brilliant. And
thank you. Thank you very
you
much.
put on a thoroughly entertaining display for that little grassed area where all the tanks were and stuff. It was quite something. So yeah, congratulate you on that. And yeah, really enjoyed it. And sorry to hear of your health issues you had last year. I was the same with the disease. I had it back in 2011, and like yourself, I got through it. So yeah, just really to say that basically, and what a wonderful show you put on for the final display of the helicopter that you were displaying. So thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.
And would you have been flying that when I can? Is that one of yours in my video on my background there? Can you see it?
Yes, yes, I can see it.
Yeah. Would that have been one of yours, or would that have been one of the other helicopters that were displaying there? Because that thing put on a bit of a display as well.
Uh, and what exactly is your question? If
Was that that's not a Sokol, is it? I always get confused with the helicopters from like Czech Republic and
Mhm.
Poland. Yeah. So
Yeah, yeah. So the helicopter that was in the picture, it's MI 171. I
yeah,
mean, that's the um I have flown it, but the different version. Okay,
yeah,
so um, basically in my squadron, in 243rd Squadron, we have W-3A Sokols as smaller helicopters, and then Mi-17s, the
yeah,
older version. And the helicopter that you have in your picture, it's um they are stationed in Náměšť
Namish.
Air
Yeah, we
Base.
were going to
That's
go
the
there, but we never got
yeah,
round to going there.
yeah,
But
yeah. That's the pure helicopter airbase.
yeah,
All the, let's say, combat helicopters are there. So yeah, like I said with the Mi 17, it's more like a bus. I mean, you can do some kind of I don't know. It's really tricky to compare with Sokol because, like I said, Mi 17 or this version Mi 171, it's more like a
yeah,
bus. You know, it's very powerful.
yeah,
It
yeah,
can you can have 3 tons inside cabin, and then 4 tons on sling. So it's
yeah,
very powerful, but yeah, it has its limitations just from the physics, you know. So
yeah.
so
And did you ever do any of your initial rotary training at Pardubice? Because we visited there for a few hours, a bleat in the rain, mind, when we were over there.
uh uh well, that,
Pardubice, is it?
Pardubice, yes. In Pardubice, there they have also the basic version, the older version of Mi 17s for training.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
Pardubice base is basically our flight school for the Air Force.
that's right. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a civilian company, but the army contracted them for doing area training for the future Air Force pilots. So you can see Mi 17 there, but not this one that you have in your picture. This and with the RAM, the picture that you showed me, it's the version with the RAM, and
yeah,
it's the special version for the special operations for the
yeah,
special forces, and it's
yeah,
stationed
yeah.
just only in Náměšť.
So this one, I think, was the one where the guys abseiled out of it. Is that right?
This
Where
what
they done the fast rope, they do the fast rope training from this one, then do they?
uh, yeah, maybe I mean sometimes it happens for all units within the Air Force, even our unit in Prague or the Náměšť. We do training for other, let's say, ground forces unit. So it could happen that they had kind of like a rendezvous on over there in Pardubice, because near Pardubice uh, there is a small town where our paratroopers are stationed. You know,
Yeah,
so if we do training for them and they do fast rope training, we can do it either in their compound or in Pardubice. So what I think you saw guys, just doing training on the rendezvous area.
Yeah, yeah, it was interesting to say the least. But yeah, lovely country, Czech Republic. We will be back
Thank you.
again there some point. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you.
Right. I'll pass you over to Graham now.
Hi. Is it
Hello.
everybody's tried not to say your name but I think it's Shafarik, is that right? Or how's
Yes,
it?
yes, yes.
Was it?
Sure. And R with Háček, it's difficult. I told to Matt, it's really difficult for any foreigner to pronounce my name.
Yeah. Well, I learned to say Škoda, you see, because that has the same on the front. So
Yes,
took
yes.
me probably 30 years, but I learned it. I got some very good Czech friends. I worked in Hungary with them, and so we had some
Cool.
great fun. It was hard, but yeah, we did some good stuff. So yeah, my question really, a couple of really, you talked about the air ambulance stuff, and I'm pretty sure that's a really hard job. I get that. Even if you're driving a vehicle ambulance, it's really hard. And so you also do search and rescue. So do you go into the mountains and look for people as well? Is that part of your job? To not just to go to a road and pick somebody up who had a crash, which is
Yes.
really important as well. I get that. Or maybe somebody who's very ill and has to go somewhere. That's air ambulance. You do that from what I
Yes.
understand. But do you go and search for maybe people who got lost in the skiing or whatever,
Yes.
that sort of thing
Yes.
as well?
Yes, we can do that. We can do
Yeah.
that. I mean um those two services, they work like uh one next to each other.
Mm,
So uh, uh, nowadays, for we used to have Sokols for both roles. So when I told you that I started to fly in a search and rescue squadron, so this squadron had two helicopters on standby. One was search and rescue, one was air ambulance, and they were standing in one hangar in one place, and two crews were there. Then when we merged with another squadron in 2008 and moved to Prague, so another roles were put on the search and rescue helicopters. So nowadays, in search and rescue role, we have Mi-17 in Prague, and in Pilsen, we have W-3A Sokol for air ambulance. But those two roles are really very similar, and training is pretty much the same. So when I became the squadron commander, I concentrate all our training to do like both roles. So my pilots who fly W-3A Sokol and fly air ambulance, they still train all the all the techniques that you saw in our display that we do on the air show. So on the air show, you see Sokol flying and also showing the rappelling down and flying sling or the short haul with the rescuers on the rope and do the hoist operation. So we train these three basic skills on both types, on Mi-17 and W-3A Sokol. So in that search and rescue role, we can fly with both helicopters, but on standby we now have Mi-17, but it can be substituted by Sokol. And when we fly air ambulance in the western part of our country, if you imagine the geography, so you have Pilsen in the middle of the western part, the of the country, and in the north there is a big mountain range, and in the south also. So it's pretty common that during winter, even in with air ambulance helicopter, we have a hoist, and we can do this rescue operation from inaccessible areas in the mountains and stuff. So yeah, we do it quite frequently, and in summer, there is a lot of people who it's especially after COVID and with the with popularity of electro bikes, because there used to be times that, if you have ordinary bicycle and you were not trained enough, so you wouldn't, go on bicycle in the areas that normally people go now, because if you have electro bike, it's usually easier for you to get to areas that you wouldn't, you know what I mean?
I
I
do know
mean,
exactly.
like,
Yes, I know.
because it was obvious during 2020 or 21 when everything was shut down due to COVID. So people were not traveling abroad. So those mountains were full of people. And when I was on duty, like literally in summer of, I think, 20 or 2021, literally every duty that I was in, I flew for some messed up cyclist, in the middle of the mountain, find him somewhere because he crashed, because, he was driving a bicycle like for after some years, he borrowed the electro bike and get somewhere and was not so skilled. So usually during summer we fly for this, cyclist that uh,
Oh dear.
you know what I mean. I
I
mean,
do. I do.
yeah, and the same in winter. Sometimes people just, I don't know if call it stupidity or something, but
Well,
some.
we can call it that. Yeah.
But
Yes.
nowadays, everybody thinks that if I have great equipment, I can do anything, but they
And
don't
they
actually.
have this, which is very reliable, obviously.
Yes,
Not so,
yes,
not all that. Not they think it's reliable, I think,
yes,
but it's
yes,
really not, is it?
yes,
So
yes.
yeah, yeah. And on a similar subject, I mean, I don't know if you train for conflict situations where you have to recover aircrew, because I know that that's quite a big thing for some military
Yes,
helicopters. I don't
yes.
know. I mean, I suppose in a lot of ways it's not that different, except that somebody's probably shooting at you. You
Mm.
still have to go in and pluck somebody off the ground and take them away. But do you actually practice that, or is it something you would just do if you had to?
Well, my unit, let's say we have, two bases. One in Prague is in military jargon, we call it combat support airbase and combat support unit. And in Ramyesh, those are combat units. So they do more like a combat SAR, combat search and
Yeah.
rescue.
Okay.
They
So you do
do
train for
all,
it, or
they
some of your
do
people do it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So in Ramyesh, their air crews, and it was in the picture, the Mi-171 with the Ram, they have special equipment for this role. But my unit, we just train for search and rescue in in, let's say, peacetime. So we
Yeah.
train with our fighters, like Jan that was speaking before me. We train with those guys for the peacetime rescue. Or let's say, okay, we train also with them. We train the combat procedures. But Sokol or our Mi-17 is not equipped for the combat search and rescue. So we train. So my people knows procedures. We train procedures, but not like fully, because if you do a full combat SAR, like if you imagine. Very well known is from Bosnia, the rescue of this American pilot over there, in 90s. So this full scale operation, I mean, my unit has not equipment for that, but we train procedures because we are military pilots, so we have to know the procedures to be in that role, like to be rescued or to cooperate on a rescue. So partly my unit do it, but fully náměšť colleagues, they do it.
Thank you. That's very interesting. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I'll pass you over to Todd now.
All right. Thank you. Good evening. And
Hello.
thanks for joining us. I too saw your display at RIAT, and I thought it was one of the best helicopter displays I've seen, and I've seen a lot.
Thank you very much.
My father was a helicopter pilot. He flew Cobras in Vietnam
Mhm.
and Hueys and things like that. So I have a special place in my heart for helicopter air crew and displays. I flew a Hercules, but helicopters
Nice.
is a good subject as well. But no, I wanted to say well done on the RIAT display. I was going to ask you about the Sokol. As far as you said, you're out at Kabul. I've been to Kabul many times as well in the Hercules, and I was curious, what was the Sokol like in hot and high, as we call it? Hot temperatures, high altitude. Was it
Well,
limited?
yeah, I was not flying with Sokol over there because when I was in Kabul, we were sent there like only like a unit, and we
Mhm.
flew on their helicopters. So there was a Afghan squadron.
Mhm. Yes.
And part of the squadron was like let's say basically there were two squadrons, one Afghan squadron and one American squadron, and we were
Yes.
part of the American squadron. So squadron commander was American, and
Mhm.
he has a little team of instructors, and
Yeah.
part of this instructor team was my advisory team. Okay, so
Right.
does it make sense? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was there just only as a flight instructor, and I was flying on their aircraft, So
Right.
in that time, my unit was from two parts. I have flight instructors for Mi-24s for the
Mhm.
combat helicopters, attack helicopters, and
Mhm.
then a group for the Mi-17. So I flew there with their helicopters,
Right.
but with Sokol, I can say because pre-deployment training that
Mhm.
we had also in Pyrenees. In
Mhm.
Pyrenees, on the border between France and Spain, there is a little station where pretty much whole Western Europe sends their crews to fly in high mountains environment, So
Mhm.
so before I was deployed to Kabul, I went through training in Pyrenees,
Mhm.
and we were lucky because when we finished this advisory teams, we were allowed to, because the station in Pyrenees was contracted for several years. So when we stopped to fly to Afghanistan, all the deployments were finished. We still used this station in Pyrenees for training like the other crews for for the sake, like, if sometime in the future we would be deployed again in the high mountains, so that the all air crews have experience from high mountains environment. So we were lucky because in 2019 and 2000, I think 21 or 22, something like that, we deployed our Sokols to Pyrenees. So we tried to fly also with that type in that environment, and yeah, it did pretty well. I mean, if you compare it with Mi-17 or Mi-171, especially 171 has a special adjustment on their engines to fly in high altitudes. But Sokol did pretty well. I mean, we didn't have any problems to fly in the same areas as Mi-17 flew.
Good. Okay. Thank you. I was going to show you one other thing. Is I was quite impressed also with your patch that you guys wore at RIAT as well.
Oh, nice.
Unfortunately, I was unable to get one. I tried to ask for one, and they said I couldn't have one, but it was one that I was after. But it's quite a nice looking patch.
Yeah.
So
if just send me your address, and I can send you one.
That would be amazing. Thank you very much.
We had a special edition for the RIAT in the picture. So yeah, we did special patches for the synchro demo. Like, we knew that it would be the only season that we show it. So I still have some left. So
great.
Send me your address, and
perfect.
You will get one.
Yeah, thank you. I'll get your details from Matt. I'm sure Matt might have your details there. But thank you. No, thank you for answering the questions too. I'll pass it on to whoever's next.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So I'm going to ask my question now that Graham asked for the previous pilot. So obviously some pilots like flying at night, some like flying during the day. So do you like flying at night? And what's the difference? Because we've had some previous pilots that have said they like flying at night because it's calm, it's peaceful. There's a lot less traffic. So obviously your role flying the helicopter, obviously if it's search and rescue, you're going to go out whenever you're called. So, but your choice, like daytime, nighttime.
Yeah, for me, definitely would be a daytime. I mean, my experience with nighttime sorties is that sometimes it can get really messy. And like I said, when you fly rescue missions, you usually fly in really shitty weather. And if I can choose, I would like to, because our regulations are for our rescue missions, I can go to visibility of 800 meters in daytime. If you fly with the invisibility less than 1 kilometer, it's pretty demanding. But still at least you see, you see what is coming. But during a nighttime, if you have this kind of shitty weather, it's very easy, to fly VFR. You start as a VFR at night, but in some area there could be, lower clouds, and you just don't see it, and you easily like that can get to IMC conditions, to quickly get into clouds, and then it's like a whole different world. If you know I don't know how to explain to somebody who haven't experienced that, but it's one of the worst things in this kind of mission. Imagine that you are in stress because the horn goes goes up, and you rush into helicopter, you start it up, you fly to a really dark night somewhere where you just don't know where you are going, pretty much, you know. And then immediately, if the weather is shitty, so you get into clouds. So now you have to resolve different problem. Uh, so you have to somehow figure out how you get under the clouds again, not to strike with terrain and stuff like that. So when I imagine nighttime flying, I most of my career was flying with shitty weather condition at night. So I mean, sometimes you are lucky and you have this really nice night without any clouds, and you see the moon and you see the stars, and there is quite enough of the light from the moon and stars, and so you see kind of terrain contours, and could be could be fun for a while, but I'm usually afraid of nighttime missions, because most of my nighttime missions were in really shitty weather. So if I can choose, I would like to fly at night when it's bad weather, so at least I can see what's coming. But at night you cannot, so I don't like nighttime missions.
Good, that explains that cracking explanation. Um, so my other question is, obviously, if anyone's got any questions, further questions to ask, please just put your hands up, etc. But one of the questions I was going to ask is, which I obviously asked the previous pilot, is what's been the most challenging moment of your career? Like something that's really, sort of, for instance, like engine failure, or say something's happened that's tested your skills. Obviously, you're trained to
Hmm.
overcome this situation, but something that's really tested your skills where you're sweating a little bit and you're sort of like, whew, has there been
Yeah,
a situation through that?
yeah. I've been there in it was in 2010 or 2011. I don't remember exactly. It was I think 2010, and we had flash floods in one area in the northern part of our country. And I was serving in that time. We had W-3A Sokol in SAR role. It was like 2 years before we transitioned to Mi-17 for various reasons. So I came to work on Saturday, And it was, like I said, it was really bad weather. Like in half of our country, it was raining, low clouds, and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, it's in search and rescue. I mean, it's not very usual that aircraft crash in depth, because pretty much nobody is flying for fun, just airliners, and it was Saturday. But then in the morning, just our rescue coordination center called me that they really need our help, that there are flash floods in area around the city of Liberec, and we were pretty much the only helicopter that could get there like the first. So we flew there. It was, for me, it was really demanding even to get there because around the city, it's a really hilly area. And I get there as the first helicopter on scene. And you can imagine that there was a really little town. And I get there, and you pretty much get into the area where everywhere is water, and it was really like it was in mountainous area, so it was really this really fast flowing water, you know parts of building where crashed, and everybody needs your help. So you are there alone, and you look around, and everybody is waving, and everybody needs you. So for first 2 hours, I was the only helicopter who was operating there. Then after 2 hours, police helicopters came there, and other civilian companies that fly air ambulance and stuff. So they came there. So finally, we flew there with like 6 or 7 helicopters. But the first 2 hours was just me and my crew. Yeah. And overall, I spent there 5 flight hours hovering above the roofs and pretty much getting anybody who needed it to the safety. So my crew rescued 55 people there, and then some dogs and even cats, because those people, if they have to leave their homes, they won't let their pets over there to die. So I was really amazed with our rescuers. With when we usually rescued some people, and when I was full, my back cabin was full. I flew to the small airfield where the kind of improvised headquarters was, where we put all the people that were rescued, and I landed there, and then I saw people going past the cockpit, and then I saw one man with really big dog, and I was like, what, how the hell you get this big dog inside the helicopter, because when I was hovering above, I didn't notice who is going on the rope. I was just hovering there, and people were going up, and that was really like the worst rescue mission for me. And what I always tell to younger guys in the squadron, it was experience that, and I always tell them that once in your career you experience something like I experienced, that in one moment your all your experience that you gained before come together. You know what I mean? I really, in those 5 flight hours when I was rescuing, I used all of my skills that I learned and couple of skills that I heard of from my colleagues. You know what I mean? You experience a lot of in your training, and then from the older guys that I get, to the search and rescue squadron, and I heard all the stories how they did their job before me. Some of the skills I learned personally, but some of them I heard of. So in that one moment, I used literally everything what I experienced before. So that was like the most demanding rescue operation for me.
Oh, thank you for answering that. I don't know if anyone else has got any questions, but I've got one before anyone else. If anyone's got one, get your questions in before we sort of wrap it up. But yeah, so the other question is obviously when this helicopter comes out of service, what are you going to do next? This is my thing. Where are you going to go? Because you
Yeah,
said that
well,
no more.
that's really a question because like my colleagues said, we as a military pilots we have our contracts, so when you finish your flight school, you usually have contract for like 10 years or something like that. And then you usually extend the contract. So now my contracts ends next year, and I will see if I extend for another 1 or 2 years. And well, I don't know. I'm I think that I'm kind of a um, okay. Let me put it like that. Now I'm a squadron commander, and in that position, for me, it's like the ideal mix of, let's say, flying helicopter and flying the desk. You know what I mean? If you are squadron commander, you still have a lot of administrative stuff to do. You have like I have 120 people in squadron. Not only flight crews but also ground crew. So if I move to another position and after 2 years I would have to move. So another position is in airbase or air wing or air force level. So less flying, more flying the desk. And I'm not this kind of guy. I've spent 4 years at the general staff. I did this administrative stuff. I flew less when I was there, but honestly, I didn't like it. I'm a pilot. I went to the military to fly. And another move in my career would be to fly less. So I'm really thinking about retiring from the Air Force, and I would like to do what I've done my whole career. So I believe that when we finish in our air ambulance center, and I don't know who would take over, if it would be another civilian company or anybody who take over after us. I think for me, quite natural would be to retire and fly as a civilian pilot. I have a civilian license, so when I retire, I can fly in a civilian company and fly air ambulance and doing something what I've done for my whole flight career, So uh, yeah, at least another year I will be still in the army, and I would like to extend like 1 or 2 years. I haven't decided yet, and then I would like to retire and fly in civilian company and doing air ambulance. That's my aim. But 1 or 2 years are quite long, so we'll see. We'll see what what the army offers me, and of course, I mean, for after my experience from last year, I still have to count that my health would not be good enough to anything can happen. I mean, I lost my flying status for 430 days, when I was diagnosed, and then came back. So more than a year I haven't flown. So yeah, so from that time, my mindset is a little bit different, because before I was diagnosed with cancer, I was like undestructible, and I would fly till my retirement. And now I think about it a little bit differently, So I'm really blessed that I can fly now, and if doctors tell me in a year or two that okay, it's not good enough to stay in flight status, so I would have to do something else. I don't know.
I just got to say, it's a proud moment that you've fought that horrible disease, and the way you've openly spoke about it today. Um, it's absolutely brilliant. Your courage, your strength and stuff, and that you're still able to fly after those 400 plus days of not being able to fly. And here you are, you came back, you come to RIAT in the UK, and you won a trophy. What a fantastic career.
Thank you.
It's just, amazing. And I don't know if anyone else has got any further questions to ask rather. But if that is it, I just want to say, we've been speaking a while now. Thank you very much for, part of today was the Czech Air Force sort of talk. But it was only today I asked you to step in as a surprise for my attendees, because I wanted to make it an actual evening. And your flexibility and the way you've spoken to me for everything and that, just so accommodating. The Czech Air Force have just been so brilliant on these talks. It's just absolutely brilliant. And today, yourself and the previous part, just 10 out of 10. I just thank you for your time. Thank you for
Thank you
entertaining
too.
us at RIAT. Just
Yeah, I was really enjoying this talk. I mean, hopefully I was not talking too much. I mean, I know that when even in the Czech, when I'm somewhere, everybody tells about me that if you start to speak, you just speak and speak. So maybe I speak a little bit more than other people, but yeah, for me it was very interesting, and I really enjoyed the whole meeting and your questions, and talking about me and my career, and flying. Yeah, so I really had fun. Yeah,
before I
and thank
pass over
you,
to
thank you for inviting.
Thank you. And before I pass over to Graham, because he's put his hand up, I just want to say, I know you said about speaking too much, but you spoke just amazingly about your career. It was enough, and I'm sure a lot of people here were in agreement with me. You could carry on talking and talking, and I'll just sit here and listen. This is what this is all
Okay.
about, Pilot Talks. So, fabulous, fabulous career. Thank you for your time tonight, and I'll finish off by passing you
Thank you
over
for
to Graham.
inviting. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I just wanted to say something similar, really. I'm blown away. I'm a fast jet. Interest is fast jets.
Okay.
And being honest, as you've been, but your story is just mind-blowing, actually. And your courage and your honesty, I mean, I'm just blown away with it. Thank you. It's
Thank
been
you, too.
amazing. And certainly
Thank you
not
for
too much
saying that.
talking. Thank you. I'll shut up and let my hand back to Matt.
That's right, Graham. But so last call. Anyone got any last questions before we let
Mhm.
Safarik go? And thank you for letting me pronounce your name in English. But what I will do is I will learn it how you said, and I'm going to say it to you one day.
Okay.
So
No.
I will say it in Czech. I will say it in Czech. I promise. So
Okay.
I'll get there. But till then, I'm going to have to keep it in the English terms, Farik. Sorry if
Uh-huh.
it's not the best, but I'm really bad with names.
Or
I'm sorry.
just Peter, you know.
You didn't say that before. But anyway, thank you again. Brilliant evening. It's just thank you. And I wish you the best for your future career, whatever you tend to do.
Thank you.
And
Absolutely.
thank you for giving us a bright display at RIAT this year.
Yeah.
Well-deserved trophy.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you very
you.
much.
Thank
Really
you.
enjoyed it. And I'll be
I
in
mean,
Thank
touch.
you.
I mean, I would really love to go there again. I mean, but you know, everything must end sometime. And another thing, what you know, it's just the last piece of story of my life. I mean, when I was there, I really, I mean, you know, if you really get so down that I was last year, I mean, last year in the beginning of the year when before my chemo treatment started, I literally almost died. So I was really, really, I mean, I didn't know that because I felt so horribly that I didn't care what the doctors do with me. You know, I had terrible, terrible, really terrible pain in my back when the tumor was pushing my nerves, you know. So I was not recognizing that I was dying. I mean, I felt really bad. And I was lucky that the doctor who told me my diagnosis, he told me something like, okay, you are lucky that you have the germinal tumor. It's one that we can cure. It usually won't return, and you will fly in, let's say, 6 months. It was not in 6 months, but when he told me this, I was lucky that I didn't have, you know, all the bad thoughts in my head because since that time I just concentrated on the fact that I will cure and then I will fly. So it really helped me. But after treatment that I had, it would never be the same as before, like a physically, you know. So what my colleagues didn't know when I returned back to flying, um, I mean, it was amazing to get back, but uh, every longer flying really hurt me physically, you know, because I was so down last year that I recovered and it's difficult to explain, but I mean, in a normal state of life, if you do something like ordinary, uh, you feel like you are completely okay, but when you push your body to higher intensity, even flying or any other activity, uh, there is literally pain, and but nobody recognized, nobody knew it. I mean, I started to fly, and after a longer training sorties, I was really, really tired and really, really painful, like the muscles pain. And when we started to rehearse the synchro demo, and we flew to England, every evening I was like, and over there they started to see that, like when you come to Riyadh the first day on Wednesday, we uh, we flew from our country on Tuesday, and we slept in Belgium, because then you have to transit to England, like 3 hour flight. And then we had our rehearsal in the evening. So you have to, have the concentration from the morning till the very evening, and to show the best. And I really felt that I'm tired. I mean, even there, before I knew that we won the trophy on Sunday, I just gathered my guys, the 12 people that our team was there, and I told them, okay, I mean, nobody knew that it was very difficult for me to get from the very bottom of your strength, that you have almost no strength, and you have to get up to higher level of your performance, and you see that you are very easily tired, and that it hurt. I mean, nobody knew, nobody recognized, but I said, okay, but it was really painful. And I just told them, okay, 10 seasons is enough. And we performed our best best routine that we have ever flown on the biggest air show in the world. So uh, I was like, okay, I'm on the top, and now I can uh, stop doing it. Because for me the worst thinking was when I was diagnosed with the cancer, that you like suddenly stop something. And when I was, suffering, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, okay, if I don't recover, what was my last flight? I mean, I was like, okay, I flew the last flight, and I didn't know that it was the last flight. So when I get back to the top, so I was like, okay, now I'm on the top, and now uh, I can say that I uh, I've done almost everything what I can do as a rescue pilot, as a display pilot. So now I can leave, and I can remember what was the last air show, and what was like the last being on the top, if you know what I mean. Yeah, so
I,
that's just sorry to extend the time here, but yeah, that's just
I,
There is no
the last
there's
piece
no
of the
I
story
can
of my life.
I
there's
can
no
really
time.
feel for you on them words, because obviously my diagnosis, I was in agony here in my living room, and I kept falling to the floor. I had mine in the kidney, so I was lucky. They went straight in and done what they call an epirectomy and took the kidney away. But, you know, at the time, I wasn't working full time in the job that I'd done. And the day I was shown the tumour on the computer screen in the surgeon's room in the hospital here in Bath, which was my local hospital at the time, I went back into the city to have a beer and a bit of lunch in a pub. And my ex-boss, he rung up and he said, "Come back to work." I said, "I can't." And he said, "Why?" I said, "I might have cancer. We don't actually know yet." And it obviously turned out to be it. But the only thing I really feel for you is after you've had your operation, or your chemotherapy and stuff, and that I didn't have chemotherapy or radiotherapy, as I say, they went straight in. But ever since that operation, I've had nothing but back pain. I've had trouble with my lower back and everything. But I got through it, and I think the gods were looking on both myself and you in that respect. We're survivors. We're what we call warriors.
Mhm. Yes.
Indeed. And drawing the close to that, I just want to say it's an inspiration speaking to you, Sfarik, and obviously your battles and everything. You're a true asset to the Czech Air Force, and it's just been absolutely brilliant speaking to you tonight. And I wish you all the best of health. I wish you the best of everything, and congratulations and well done on your battle that you won from that horrible disease.
Thank
And
you.
as I said before, you came back strong and you won that very well-deserved award at RIAT, with those lovely, colourful choppers. So it was brilliant. So thank you again for your time. It's been brilliant. Thank you.
I thank you too. It was really nice to see all of you and to tell the story and answer your questions. So thank you again for inviting me. And hopefully, who knows, maybe we can meet somewhere in the future in person. Who knows?
Amazing. Might see you one day soon.
Yeah. So thank you and bye.
Maybe at
Thank you.
NATO
Bye-bye.
days again.
Maybe, yes, maybe there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, good show. But on the Saturday, it was absolutely ram-packed uh, with with spectators, because obviously you had the floods the year before where it was cancelled, wasn't it?
Yes.
But beautiful country, as I say to you and the other pilot that was on. Love to return again someday.